Hello, my dear children. Welcome to today's session. So, what are we learning today? Today, we are diving deep into the world of plants, and this is our green world, our green plants. So, when we look around, we see so many green plants. Some are small, some are very high, very tall, some are medium, and some have beautiful flowers on them. Some have beautiful, small, different colored, round, and juicy fruits on them. Some we can see on trees different birds, different animals, monkeys, squirrels on them. So, this is nothing but our green world. The fresh air that we are breathing is all because of this green world called plants. We see many plants around us like gardens, parks, and by the roadside. They are beauty of nature. It helps us to give shade and to keep fresh air and to keep the air fresh and cool. Plant that grows outside the house by the roadside and park, they do not belong to anyone in particular. They are public property. Anyone can use the shade of these plants. And plants provide food and oxygen to us and all living beings. So, outside my house, there is a very big mango tree, and every year we eat fresh mangoes that the tree gives us, and we eat the juicy mangoes from the branches of the mango tree. Now, what are the different parts of the plant? So, for different parts of the plant, I have a very interesting way to remember the parts of the plant. That is roots, stem, leaves, flower, and fruits. So, it is roots, stem, leaves, flower, and fruits. The plant are divided into two parts. So what two parts? Those two parts, one which is growing under the soil and one which is going above the soil or which is growing above the soil. So the part of the plant that grows above the soil and which has stem in it, which has branches in it, which has bud in it, which has flowers in it, which has fruit in it, this particular part is called the shoot of the plant or the shoot system. And the part which is growing under the soil, in the soil, under the ground, these are the roots or the root system. So the part of the plant that grows above the soil is known as shoot system. It includes the stem, leaves, branches, fruits and flowers. The part of the plant that grows below the soil is called root system. So as you can see, this is shoot system which is growing above the soil, and this is a root system which is growing below the soil. So what are the types of roots? There are different types of roots, and of some plants we eat the roots. Okay. The roots are the first part of a plant that grows from the seed when it germinates. So when we sow a seed, the first part of the plant that grows is its roots. The roots, they hold the plant firmly. It spreads in the soil and it holds the plant firmly upright. Also, what does a root do? The roots, they collect all the minerals and the water from the soil, and it absorbs them and passes it on to the stem and rest of the plant. So roots hold the plants firmly in the ground and absorb water and minerals from the soil, which are needed for the plant to grow. There are two kinds of roots. One is the tap root and another is the fibrous roots. Okay. Now, what are the tap roots? So, what is a tap root? Tap root is, so this is a soil and the roots grow inside the soil. So, what is a tap root? When there is one main root growing inside the ground, and then there are small other roots which grows from the main root. So this kind of root is called the tap root. So for example, radish looks like this. How does a radish look like? A radish look like this, and then there are small roots on the radish. Why? Because it's a tap root. Similarly, a carrot is also looks like this. It is one big part, one big root with small roots growing on it. So this is a tap root. So some plants have one main root with many small roots branching out of it. Such roots are called tap roots. For example, carrot, turnip, beetroot. Right? Alright, so the next type of roots are called fibrous roots. Now, what are the fibrous roots? When a root is growing under the soil and there is no one main root, and then there are the roots which are very bushy and they grow equally and very bushy under the ground. These are the fibrous roots. Okay, so some plants have numerous roots roughly of the same size growing from the base of the stem, and these are called the fibrous roots. For example, rice, marigold, grass, these are all the type of fibrous roots. Besides the two basic roots, there are a few special roots like aerial roots. So the aerial roots are the roots which grow above the soil because of the muddy soil, because the air cannot go inside the soil and the roots are unable to breathe, so they grow above the ground. They are called aerial roots. Storage roots, propagative roots, and breathing roots. Okay, these are the picture of different type of roots. Now, what are the function of the roots? The two main function of the root is to keep the plant upright on in the ground and strongly grounded to the in the soil. Secondly, that in some plants the food is being stored in the roots. For example, radish, turnip, carrot, beetroot. Then third function is that the roots, they absorb minerals and water from the soil and pass it on to the rest of the plant for their survival. So fixation. Roots fix the plant firmly in the ground. They spread out in the soil and hold the plant firmly to the ground. Then comes absorption. Roots absorb water and minerals from the soil. They are used by the plants to make their food during photosynthesis. Then comes storage. Roots store food. Some roots like carrot, radish, etc. have thick swollen root that store extra food, and we eat such roots. Then the support. Some roots grow above the ground and provide solid support to the plants. The soil on which no plants are growing is easily washed away by water or blown away by the wind. So actually it avoids soil erosion. Respiration. In some plants, the roots of the plants grow upward from the soil. These roots have tiny holes in them which help them in respiration, in breathing, in maintaining, in regulating the water of the plant. The fastest growing plant in the world is bamboo. Some species can grow about 1 meter in a day. So bamboos grow a lot in one day. Now, soil. What is a soil and what are the different types of soils in which the plants grow? Soil is one of the most precious resource. It is the uppermost layer of the earth's crust. So our crust's uppermost layer is called soil. Soil is the mixture of minerals, gases, liquid, etc. All the plants and trees, they grow in soil. Soil should be wisely used as it takes a long period of time to form and get fertile. So we should preserve the soil. Why? Because it takes thousands of years to make soil, and for minerals to get dissolved in the soil, and for humus to get dissolved in the soil, and to make it fertile, again it takes a very long period of time, and only then it is fit for plants to grow. That is why we should use the soil very wisely. Now, what are the types of soil? There are mainly four types of soil: sandy, silty, clay, and loamy. Sandy, silty, clay, and loamy. So, what is a sandy soil? A sandy soil, as the name is telling you, it is sand. It is very loosely packed soil which has a lot of pores in it. It cannot retain a lot of water, and it is very airy. Mostly sand particles are found in soil. When you rub it, it feels rough and gritty. Sand does not hold water, so it is good for providing drainage. Crops like coconut, groundnut, sweet potato, watermelon are grown in sandy soil. Then comes the silty soil, which is a combination of a sandy soil and clay. So silty soil, it comprises, what does it have? It has medium sized particles in it, and it is well drained. I mean, what does well drained mean? Well drained means that it can hold the water, enough water, not a lot of water. It holds, and neither does it allow the water, a lot of water to get passed through it. So it holds enough water, and that's why it holds the moisture and nutrients very well. And that's why many vegetables and fruits like cabbage, turnip, raspberries, etc. are grown in silty soil. So let's write two examples of each: taproot and fibrous roots. For taproot, radish and carrot, and fibrous roots, rice, grass. Name different types of soil. So it is written over here: sandy, silty, clayey, loamy. These are the different types of soils. Now, what is a clay soil? Clay soil is very sticky. It has nearly no pores in it. No, it doesn't allow air or water to pass through it. It retains a lot of water, and it is very sticky, and that's why it is used to make earthen pots also. Pots and utensils made of clay. It is being used to make such utensils because it doesn't allow water to pass through it. And that's why the plants which grow in clay soil, they have aerial roots. Okay, so which plants grow in such soil? Paddy fields, the rice, they are best grown in clay soil. So clay soil is very smooth in touch. It becomes sticky when it gets wet. It can hold water, but it does not allow much air or water to pass through it. Therefore, it is not suitable for growing most plants. This soil is used to make pots and toys. Paddy is also grown well in this soil. Then comes the loamy soil. Loamy soil is a combination of all the three other soil: sandy, silty, and clay. When they are mixed in almost equal quantity, then we get loamy soil, and then thus it contains a lot of humus, and it has good water holding capacity and has sufficient air space. So that is why this kind of soil is best suitable for growing crops. Okay. Now comes the next part of the plant, which is flowers. Flowers are the most attractive part of the plant. They are colorful, they are fragrant, They provide nectar to various insects, and they just look beautiful. People gift flowers to each other also. So they are found in different sizes, shapes, and colors. Some flowers grow in bunches while some grow as a single flower. Different flowers bloom in different seasons. Most of the flowers bloom in spring season. So, depending on when their flowers bloom, plants may be called annuals, biennials, and perennials. So, according to in which season does a plant have flowers in them, according to them they are called annuals, biennials, and perennials. So what is annuals? So annuals are the plants that live only for one season. So they have flowers once a year, and then when they yield flowers, they die. For example, dahlia, marigold, and sunflower. These flowers bloom only once in a single season. Then comes biennials, which live only for 2 years. Example, pansy, bellflower, forget-me-not. They only produce flowers and seeds in the second year and then die. So what happens? In 1 year, they are grown. In the next year, they yield flowers. Once they yield flowers in the second year, they die. And these are the examples of biennials: pansy, bellflower, and forget-me-not. All right? So this is the bellflower. Then comes perennials. These are the plants that live for more than 2 years, and they bloom every year. For example, chrysanthemums, daisies, and peony bushes. All right. So they live for many years and they yield flowers every year. Now, what are the parts of the flowers? Let's see what are the parts of the flower. The green leaf-like structure at the bottom here of the flower, they are called the sepals. So, when a flower has not been bloomed and when the flower is only the bud, it is covered with the green part, and that green part is called sepal. And when the flower starts blooming, the sepals start separating and the flower gets bloomed. Okay. The male part of the plant is called stamen. It has filaments and anthers on it. So this whole part on which there is a filament and there is anther, together this part is the male part of the plant called stamen. So how does a stamen look like? It looks like this. Together this is the male part of the plant, which is called stamen, and stamen has a long tube which is called filament, and above it is called anther. Okay. Then comes the female. Okay, so these anther, it has got yellow substance on it called pollen. The female part of the flower is called pistil. Pistil. It consists of the stigma, style, and ovary. So a female part of the plant has stigma, style, and ovary. So this part, this is actually the female part of the plant. So it looks like this. This is the female part of the plant and it has ovary in it and style and stigma in it. So this is stigma, this is style, and this part is ovary. Okay, so it consists of style, stigma, and ovary. with the ovules inside it. So the eggs inside the ovary, they are called the ovules. At last, the ovary becomes the fruit and ovules becomes the seed. So we all know that a flower becomes a fruit at the end. And how does it become a fruit? It becomes fruit, the ovary, it becomes a fruit, and the ovules inside it, it becomes the seed. Now, what are the uses of the flowers? Flowers have many uses in our daily life. We make garlands with the flowers. We use them in worshipping in different places of worship. We gift flowers as a token of love or friendship to each other. Then the flowers are used in various perfumes and medicines also. Then the flower actually becomes a fruit, and then the fruits are being eaten as fruit. In some part, in some plants, the food is stored in the flowers only, like broccoli and or cauliflower, and then we eat it. So flowers are used to decorate homes, schools, party halls, different places. Flowers are used to make medicines and cosmetics. Honey is made from the nectar of the flower. Women wear flower on their hat to enhance their beauty. Now, people living in forest. In early times, man lived in forest. He got food by either hunting animals or by gathering wild fruits, right? So, when the people were living in the forest, the early man, they had no option to cook. They did not know how to make fire or to cook. How did they eat their food? They used to hunt animals, eat them raw, or collect wild fruit from the plants. Even today, some people live in forest and they are called Adivasis or tribals. The trees in the forest are protected by forest department officials. So there are special municipal officers who are responsible for looking after trees in every town or city. So it is a sin to cut a tree. It is just like killing any human being. If you cut any tree, you might be sentenced some kind of punishment by forest department, by the municipal officers. And these municipal officers, they hire gardeners to water the trees and sometimes put up wire cage around the plant to protect them. Trees should not be cut down without government permission. So these are the key terms that we have learned in today's lesson. Tap roots. It is the plant which have one main root with many small roots branching out of it. Fibrous roots. It is the plant which have numerous roots roughly of the same size growing from the base of the stem. Stamen is the male part of the flower and pistil is the female part of the plant. Also remember that we see many plants around us. There are two parts of the plants, shoot and the root system. The two parts of the root are the fibrous and the tap roots. Soil is one of the most precious resources of earth. Sandy, silty, clayey, loamy, they are the types of soil found in India. Flowers are the most attractive part of the plant. Different flowers bloom in different seasons such as annual, biennials and perennials. Flowers have many uses in our daily life. In early times, man lived in forest. Earlier times, people got their food either by hunting animals or by gathering wild fruits. Let's complete this exercise and see what have we learned in this lesson. You have to choose the correct option. Which of these plant has taproot? Carrot. Which of these part of plant grows above the soil? Shoot system. This is the function of roots which help the plants to fix into the ground, fixation. Dash is a mixture of mineral gases and liquids. Soil. So soil is a mixture of mineral gases and liquids. Flowers are the most important and attractive part of a plant. You have to write the name of the part of the plants given in the blank. So this tube is called stigma. This is called stigma style and the lower part is called ovary. Alright, so stigma style and ovary, they together make the female part of the plant. Then this part is called the anther and the long tube is called filament. Together they make stamen, that's the male part of the plant. These are called the petals and the green part is called staple. Alright. You have to tick the correct statements and cross out the wrong ones. The plants are divided in three parts. False. Soil is the lowermost layer of the earth. False. Clay soil is very smooth to touch. Correct. Perennials are the plants that live more than 2 years and bloom every year. Correct. The male part of the plant is called pistil. No, that's the female part. You have to answer the following questions in your notebook yourself. We can discuss over here in short. Differentiate between taproot and fibrous root. You can draw a picture for both of them, give an example, and before that, tell what are these. So, a taproot has one main root with small roots growing on them. Fibrous roots have several roots growing just beneath the stem and they are of almost same size and they're very bushy. What are the functions of the roots? Write any three. Fixation, that is fixing the plant with the root, with the soil. Then comes absorption, absorption of minerals and water from the soil. Then storage, storage of food in some of the roots. What is soil? Soil is the uppermost layer of the earth's crust. Define its type. So please define sandy, silty, clay and loamy soil. What are the uses of the flower? Flower help, they are being used to decorate. In some cases, we eat flowers, we make cosmetics, perfumes, medicine with the flowers. We use for the flowers for gifting purposes. We can make garlands in the flowers. We can wear flowers in our hats, in our hairdo. These are some fun based questions that you can do yourself with your family, with your friends and have fun with the lesson. You have to make a wonderful project on flowers and then you have to write about the name that of the flower that you have made the project on, where do we use the flowers and what are the unique features. Also paste the picture of the flowers. Then you have to take the things that a plant needs to survive and grow. Sun is being needed, no juice, water is being needed, no eggs, soil is being needed and air is being needed by the plant to grow. You have to match the parts of the flower to its right name. So, this is a leaf, these are the roots, these are the flowers and this is a stem. Now you can go to neighborhood park and collect different type of soil. Just put it in a zipped pouch and paste them in your notebook. Also write the particles that you found in that soil and try to identify the name of that soil. So here it is written, hey, can you guess my name? I'm rough and gritty. Also, I do not hold water. So that's the sandy soil. I consist of sandy and silt. Rest both you are going to do in pairs with your friends. Just ask the riddles and see whether they can recognize or solve these riddles. That's all for today in this lesson. I hope you have learned a lot about the parts of the plants, the flowers and the different uses of the roots and flowers and also a lot of things about soil. That's all for today. Keep learning, keep shining. Bye-bye.